Do we want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm supposed to start reading at 6:15, so.
Oh, Melody, do you have the WiVLA,
Hang on.
what do you call it? My mind's a blank right now.
The mission?
The mission statement. There you go.
I have it right in front of me. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, sure.
WiVLA's mission is to provide an inspiring forum for women to explore and advance their creative development, to promote their work in the marketplace, and to infuse the community with their spirit of cooperation and invention.
Thank you. Do we have any new members here tonight?
Well, I was just looking around. I think I don't see anyone on the latest greatest list. Yeah, but no, it's good to see everybody. I'm glad you're here. I think that's it, Susan. I don't know that we have any brand new members on tonight.
Okay. I don't know Charmin. Charmin Speed? Are you there, Charmin?
She's a long time member.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, longer than me then, because I don't. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and Melody, if you'll let me share my screen, I'm going to go ahead and make my announcement.
Yeah, give me 2 secs. It's here. Okay.
Oh, let's see. Here we go. This is our proposed. Can everybody see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty small.
Is it small? Oh, let me see if I
Yes,
can.
I see it. Yeah.
Is that better?
I can see it.
Okay. This is our proposed slate of officers for 2026, 27. Wow. And you will see, I want you to take a look at this because we're going to be sending this out for voting after this meeting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming up quickly. So we have one open slot, and that is for membership. And all of the rest of our slots are filled right now. We're very happy about that. We have some new people. We're really excited about the new people that are going to be joining us. But Melissa, could you just give like in a nutshell, maybe what membership, like real quick, so that everybody knows what that involves?
Yeah, the best part is that we have a great program that collects all the data. So it's just really on a monthly basis, checking that, being able to report to the board who the new members are. And then as new members join, sending them a welcome email, helping send emails to folks that maybe their membership has recently lapsed, giving memberships to our presenters. So it's just staying on top of the membership, helping come up with ideas to maybe get our name out in front of other folks. But like I said, the good news is there's a lot of it that's, I won't say it's automated, but at least all the data is right at your fingertips now. So it's just gathering that and reporting it back out.
Okay. About how much time a month do you think you spend on membership?
That's hard to say because it's usually, it kind of gets concentrated, but let's say at least there's maybe an hour a week of just reviewing it, maybe sending out some emails. And then, towards the end of the month, when you're trying to do reporting, that's maybe like 3 hours, just because there's a lot of back and forth and following up.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just leave that open to you guys, to everyone that's here tonight. And if you have any interest in that position, you can get in touch with me. I'll put my email in the chat if you want to contact me about that.
I heard.
Pardon me? Okay.
I think
All
somebody
right.
just needs to mute.
Somebody was on mute? That was
Unmuted, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. This will be sent out to everybody soon. So be sure and vote. I'm going to stop sharing. And let's see, there was someone else that needed to make an announcement. Who was that?
Me.
Oh, Denise. Okay.
Good. All right, so we have a big announcement for our anthology, that literary anthology. Hopefully everyone is aware that this was happening, and hopefully a lot of you folks submitted. But the judges have finished their work and will announce the winners of the actual literary categories in January. But tonight we can give you the winners of the title competition for the anthology itself, as well as the cover art winners. So I'm going to share my screen. Drum roll, please. Okay. So this is the title competition voting. Can everyone see the screen now? My husband's hand delivering my dinner, which is awesome. Thank you.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So as you can see, this is the sum of the voting, and there were two very close titles, but we see that there is a clear winner: The Fire Within, Stories, Poems, and Essays for Women's Resilience. And I wanted to show this voting to you because I won. So I didn't want you to think it was rigged. And in fact, I would have won either way because both of these are my titles. So anyway, congratulations to me. But I'm excited that everyone, I'm really excited how many people voted. We had a lot of participation in the voting. So I'm very excited about how many people were contributing to this voting. So that is the title we're going to go with: The Fire Within.
I'm going to be really mad.
And then we announcing the winner of the cover art competition to go with that title. Ta-da! Beautiful piece of work here. And I'll have to look it up. It was Kirsten Michener, who ironically is not a member and will become a member, but of all the visual art pieces that were submitted, she was the only non-member, and she won by voting by our membership. So congratulations to Kirsten.
Right.
So now my work begins to reach out and get the cover made for the book with a professional cover artist that I know, and start compiling all the winning pieces. So thank you for everyone for participating in your submissions as well as your voting. It was really exciting to see this all come together. Any questions?
Can you read the title one more time? I can't read it on my,
Oh,
I have
sure.
a huge computer, but.
Okay, I'll make it even bigger now that I showed you that it was legitimate voting. The Fire Within, Stories, Poems, and Essays of Women's Resilience.
Okay.
Okay. That was the only announcement that I had. Anybody else have an announcement before we kick off the program? And Alyssa, did you want to say something, or do you want me to kind of introduce the program tonight?
Oh, you are absolutely welcome to do so, which will lead right into you reading your piece.
Okay. So every November, WiVLA uses our membership or meeting to do readings from our members. And this year we decided that we would have the theme be resilience to align with the efforts and submissions to the Resilience Anthology. So I'm glad people have signed up so quickly and filled up the roster. Some people will be reading their submissions that they made to the Resilience Anthology, but that was not a requirement. It was anything on the theme. So free interpretation of that. I am going to read.
Denise, before you get started, oh, were you sharing your screen?
I was. I'll stop.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
thank you.
All right, so then we can see each other again.
So, wait just a moment. Okay.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, you're great.
Okay. So this was inspired by a disagreement, I guess, I had with my husband, and this was my response. So, dishes. She had herself submerged in warm soap suds from her fingertips to her forearms, and couldn't wipe the cold tears streaming down her face without getting soap in her eyes. His voice raged in the bathroom where he was shaving, the buzz of the electric razor swallowed by the heat of his rant. Another senseless argument over nothing. Could it even be called an argument if she never got a word in? Even her thoughts were consumed by his fury, which had detonated after asking a simple question about getting the dishwasher fixed. Felt the sudden and surprising eruption of a response, an overwhelming desire to take the plate in her pink gloved hand and hurl it against the wall, to watch it shatter into an impossible number of pieces, just like her heart did every time he used words to beat her down. No need for physical violence when words alone could shrink her into oblivion. Oh, how she wanted to release the banshee that pranced just behind her lips, to tear her hair and whirl like a dervish, to dance a frenzy out the front door in a justified rampage and give the neighbors something to really talk about. Those men who ignored her as inconsequential, and those women who slid her slant-eyed glances, filled with pity. But today wasn't the day for bold defiances. She wasn't sure what a direct confrontation would mean, if it would be a tipping point, a push across a line they had yet to cross. She turned her head to stare at the coffee maker and made a decision. Her first tiny act of defiance. He was running late and wouldn't notice if she forgot to make his morning coffee. Wouldn't notice if she left the wet, unused grounds to molder overnight. Maybe tomorrow she'd spit in his coffee. That's it.
Wonderful.
Up next should be Lauren Santerre.
Sorry, I didn't have a list. This is called 42 Days. I took 15 steps inside of the doorway before I arrived at the end of the hospital bed. As her eyes met mine, a wave of relief engulfed her face and tears poured out of the corners of her eyes. She knew me. She knew I had come to save her. She knew I had heard her desperation, her fear, her pleading for help. In that moment, she knew that someone had come to fight for her. She was exhausted from fighting for herself. After 42 days in the hospital with no family contact, no one to hold her hand, no one to put chapstick on her lips, no one to call the nurses when she needed something, she looked like a ghost of herself. She had lost 50 pounds at least. Her eyes were weary and her spirit laid heavy in the body that was betraying her. But as I made my way to the side of her hospital bed, she reached out her hand and said, "My sweet girl, thank God." "Hi, Mom. I'm here now," I said. "I'm going to get you out of here. I'm not leaving you." For 2 weeks, my mother had called me several times a day. Sometimes her words were coherent. Sometimes I could only hear her sobs through the phone. She had been hospitalized in early February after contracting COVID-19 from my daughter. But instead of the hospital being a place of safety and healing, it became a prison. She was over-medicated and neglected. She was left alone for hours, sitting in a soiled bed.
Mm.
She would scream, cry, and bang on her hospital table for a simple glass of water. My mother was not a violent woman, quite the opposite. She was a peacemaker. She hated people fighting. She abhorred yelling. She did not like discord. So when the ICU nurse called me 2 weeks prior to this visit and told me that they were putting my mother in restraints for her own protection, I knew something had gone very, very wrong. This was during the height of the pandemic. There were lockdown procedures in place at hospitals that were akin to a jail. No way to get in and no way to get out.
Mhm.
I called 2 times a day every day to speak to her nurse and check on her status. I received mixed reports. At times I thought she was being attended to properly, but many times I feared she would not live through the night. I went to the hospital 3 times trying to see her in person, 3 times denied. On my 4th visit, I sat for 4 hours in the hospital lobby, refusing to leave. I called a lawyer, threatened legal action, and finally a patient advocate met with me. After 2 more hours, I was permitted to see my mother. When I walked into the room, I immediately knew why they were trying to keep me from seeing her. She was depleted, weak, and full of fear. I imagine the hospital administrators did not want me to listen to her words of trauma and abuse at the hands of those who were supposed to care for her, not just keep her breathing. I will never fully know what my mother endured during the 42 days she was in that hospital. What I do know is that when I arrived, she was in a state of confusion and desperation. My mother was absolutely convinced that the hospital was involved in the human trafficking of small children. The drugs they administered to her had made her hallucinate so vividly that she recounted to me how she overheard the doctors talking about kidnapping young children. She was completely convinced that this was happening at the hospital and that they were plotting to take my 3-year-old daughter. With tears streaming down her face, she begged me to call her friend, who was a private investigator, and ask her to follow my husband and daughter home after school pickup every day for the next week. She was terrified for my daughter's life. My mother was not in her right mind. I didn't know what to do. I was in shock. Shocked by her state, shocked by her insistence of the hospital's plans to kidnap my daughter, shocked by her weight loss, shocked by everything that was happening. I was by myself. My husband was working and responsible for our daughter. I was alone in the hospital room with my mother, who could barely move, due to what we would later learn was a result of paralyzed leg nerves. I felt helpless, but I knew I had to help. I went into the shower in the bathroom and called her friend. I told her what was happening. I told her I knew it sounded insane. I asked her to send one of her private detectives to my daughter's school. Looking back on it, I realize how crazy I must have sounded, but I couldn't think of another way to calm my mother down. When I told my mother my daughter would be safe, she breathed a long, deep sigh of relief. I called my husband to tell him that I was not leaving the hospital until my mom did. I feared for her life. My mom was terrified, and so was I. Previously, having served as a hospice chaplain, the only plan I could conceive was to bring her to my house on hospice. For 2 days, I lobbied every doctor on my mom's medical team to sign off on the papers. I knew that even if she died at my house, it would be better than leaving her in that room by herself. After 3 days, we were on our way home. And then things got so much worse than I ever imagined. But my mom was safe, and that counted for something.
Yeah.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you so much. That was amazing, amazing story. And you were so courageous to help your mom. Is she doing better?
She passed away.
Oh, that's
Is Dedra next? Okay.
I don't know the order, but if you think I am, I am.
Dedra, I think you're next.
Dedra
Okay.
is indeed next.
There you go.
All right. I took a writing workshop earlier this year from Dottie Lawrence, and I discovered there's a poetry categorized there, I'm from here type poems, and it really spoke to me, and so I thought about this one. I call this From There to Here. I am from the briar patch where thorns keep me in and you out. I am from the place where town hunters were not welcome because they were all hat and no cattle. I am from the people who drank sweet tea and celebrated at King's Inn while I sipped my iceless water and nibbled on avocado and lettuce. I am from the land of the rising sun and sunsets so orange that they steal your heart. I am from scraps and remnants of a quilter's stash sewn together with strings of guilt, shame, and stuffed with malto meal, meatloaf, and bacos. I am from the wrong side of the right side of the tracks, 3 sleeps from the dream, depressed from all the oppression and suffocating under years and generations of suppression. I am from the past, an old soul in an aging body that will never catch up. I move through life terrified of making a wave, and one day the earth and water will swallow me whole. I am from the south of the north and east of the west. With no map to guide me, I roam in circles seeking a home to place my tender, stunted roots. I am from a line of powerful women born into a world that denies them the right to exist and take up space. These women are trained to disconnect from their bodies, truth, and agency. They are molded by various outside forces until one day they snap, or not. I am from a world adjacent to the one where fat poles make lazy strippers, drinking Mexican martinis and Jaeger bombs after graduating from Corona and Makazis, mourning the dead with lap dances at the Yellow Rose, invisible in a sea of women conforming to the stereotype. I wash ashore in another city, bringing all my unresolved baggage in a U-Haul, immediately forgetting why it was once so important. I have been on a journey that my ancestors never imagined. They are my roots, all of us living and dying in a world spinning backwards before time marches on.
Awesome, thank you. And I think Kat is next.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hang on, Kat.
Thanks, Melody. So this first one is called Encounter with a Chameleon. And it's a little bit of, I think, a little bit of humor, which is good about now. Encounter with a Chameleon. You came in, dressed to the eyeballs, in shades of Christmas red and green, your baleful eye a pit, a dark well in the center of a Zia sun sign. Inviting and searching for a connection that might lead to something more. I could get lost in that orb, a black hole in the center of a supernova. I know your type, alpha male, boisterous and belligerent. You have never dimmed your colors in retreat from another's territory. No, you are master of all you see, reflected like a silver gleam on your private darkness. Female chameleons are drab, unless replete with eggs. Pregnancy granting a warning system of shocking color, orange, turquoise, deep black. I am no chameleon. You have found yourself a basilisk, hatched by a hen from a serpent's egg, lethal of gaze, iridescent in her prime. I would have told you not to look, that I had no interest in dominance or being dominated, but you are already stone. Think I have room for one more, says Shorty. Thanks. This one is called Kinship of Desert Blossoms. In the driest desert outside Antarctica, Chile's parched Atacama, you squat upon rocks, breathing fog drifting from the ocean, bare memory of water, and yet enough. Your name, Piohio, means little louse. Technically the variety plaguing birds, but slang for the kind infesting private parts of humans. Disagreeable moniker for a charming blossom, poor relation of the prized passion flower. But it does recognize your tenacity. Bright magenta tubes of possibility unfurl into pale lavender stars, subtle green centers dotted with stamens, raising golden pollen skyward in a continuous horizon for life. Your cushiony body, lying on this unforgiving stone bed, seems today to be made entirely of flowers, the foliage beneath less visible than the hairy fuzz surrounding your buds. Those muted stars and their humble nest did not bloom all at once, but in slow succession, opening like the mouths of baby birds demanding sustenance, all too soon to fade. I find myself in love with the desert, being a winter bloomer and a bloomer in dry seasons, when my existence is questioned and threatened. I burst into flower. Carpeting the dusty rock, we paint the desert with miracles of stubborn hope. Thanks.
Find you again.
I also have two short poems, and both of these will be in my new book, which will be released early 2026. So, The Hero. I'm driving I-45 in Houston, where I've been abandoned, but a job is a job, and I'm a single parent. Though my eyes won't focus, I keep my foot pressed to the floor like a Formula One driver. Morning rush hour is unforgiving. It's a long road when you face the world alone, Mariah Carey sings. I belt out, don't I know it? I'm finally learning heartache isn't just an expression, it's a bodily condition. A wound pulsing with each beat, like a finger digging into a bruise. And just like that, everyone knows the marriage wasn't a fairy tale. He was no Prince Charming, and playing Cinderella didn't prove my foot fit the glass slipper. Yet he's still the hero, his therapist says, for saving himself. There may be no fairy godmother, but I'm a dove risen from the stone. I'm the double rainbow arched over the freeway ahead. I'm the queen of swords, blade poised at the knot. And the second one is, because resilience comes in many ways, relationship and also the earth. And the next poem appeared in an early issue of Equinox. and was about the freeze we had in February 2021. Ode to the gumbo earth that holds my house, to February and the sudden frenzied freeze, to the glassy stalactites hanging at the lip of the gutter, to the surprised arms of the neighbor's prickly pear, a memento mori to the lost crimson of their bottle brush tree, to the frost-bitten grass in this semi-tropical city, sleeping soundly under snow, to the dearth of shovels, salt, and sand that kept me sequestered, to visits in nearby yards of carrot-nosed snowmen and angels, a memento mori to tiny black lizards caught unaware, to the stunted growth of milkweed, birthing spot for monarch's eggs, to the frozen bird bath down the street, and birds fallen by the back door. A memento mori to bats who lost their grip under a bridge, to my garden's frozen ground as incubator, to resilience, to the first brisk walk, sallow yellow grass transmogrified into glorious hues of green. Thank you.
Jere Pfister, I believe you're next.
Okay. Resilience. How is it possible that I've lived this long, almost 85 years, been married for 65 years to the same man, of course, raised 4 children and cared for 8 grandchildren, cooked meals, took care of elderly relatives and grandchildren and their parents when they were overwhelmed, became an educated woman one day at a time, had cramps, migraine headaches, then didn't, have arthritis and nerve pain and keep on keeping on, did the hard work of publishing a book this year, have more to write. Listen to the stories of the homeless. Listen to the stories of men dying of AIDS as I changed their diapers and washed their bodies. Walked into a burn unit and smelled the scent of burned skin. Witnessed a woman giving birth to a dead baby she had knowingly carried. Stood with her family in a circle of prayer, listening to her screams. Marched against hunger, for integration, against torture, for peace, against war, for a woman's right to enter an abortion clinic, a child's right to be heard. I have voted in every election since I turned 21, and I'm not done caring and helping and loving. I am a woman, and as I lay dying, I will remain resilient until my last breath. And I think I write this for all of us. It's just the I pronoun.
Thanks, Jere. That's wonderful.
All of you.
Jean. Jean, are you ready?
Yes. All right. Clear blue skies, uninterrupted by even one cloud. Gulf waters bathtub warm. Small swells, rolling, interspersed between the turquoise reflections of the sky. The sunlight glows off the distended bellies of the swells. Gentle breezes, smooth sailing. First sight, is it love? It's glorious. Fascination tinged with projection and obsession. Undercurrents of lust, forbidden and dangerous. No thoughts of the past, only the present with future ahead, unfurling like a victorious banner. In the distance, a disturbance is building, somewhere out of sight beyond the curve of the horizon. The wind and clouds are gathering. Under the water's surface, there's a riptide building strength. She's what she always wanted to be, the beloved. They have so much in common. This is meant to be. Secure in this new passion, she moves on, deaf and blind to everything, aware only of the other, blissfully unaware of any danger. One thin gray band of cloud stretches slowly across the sky. Predictions of what is to come, but she doesn't hear or see anything. She has a dog's mentality, the mindset that whatever the current situation is, it will always stay this way, forever. It will always be beautiful and calm. She can't see beyond the horizon of her fantasy, yet in the pit of her stomach, there's the beginning of a slowly tightening knot. The first cloud band is followed by another and another, thickening lines of gray. The breeze is picking up. The watch begins. Talking heads and maps spout warnings. Surely this can't happen here. All the right words are said, but there's a skulking undercurrent of doubt and distrust. The past is beginning to intrude. The watch is now progressing to a warning, but nothing is happening yet. The night sky turns to bands of Payne's gray with occasional glimpses of ultramarine blue. Some things can be too good to be real or true. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Gather supplies, be a good Girl Scout, and be prepared. Still, there's the cone of uncertainty. Nothing is determined yet. Anything can happen now. There's still hope. Furl the sails, batten the hatches. Anyone who can jump from one relationship into the arms of another will likely do it again. The past stands as an ominous premonition. The future is not guaranteed. Tides rising, the swells have become white-capped waves. No more reflections, only gray sky blending into gray sea. The horizon disappears. The clouds are moving rapidly. The sky and sea rise together to a rolling boil. Something is wrong. Perfection is showing cracks. No more beloved, abandoned, confession followed by excuses, anger and frustration boiling up, indignation, betrayal, humiliation, fear. Tears flood her world. Accusations fly. Rain blown in sheets, wind goes from a whisper to a howl of outrage. She becomes aware of a sound she's never heard before. It's coming from deep within her. Her grandfather had told her that her family had a banshee. He just never said it was her. She and the wind are keening together, harmonizing in an unearthly shriek. It's unbearable. The trees are battering the wind, hurling themselves from side to side. No more tears to cry, throat raw from wailing. There's nothing left to do but hunker down. Pull the covers up and hide. Wait for the worst to be over. There's a lull. Everything goes quiet. No wind, no rain, no tears, no wailing. The sky's clear. Apologies and calm. Maybe the worst is over. She relaxes her guard, thinking now everything can go back to normal, whatever normal is. With no warning, it comes back. Clouds, wind, rain. Only the wind has changed direction, blowing the water and debris as it goes. Another blow. Recriminations. Nothing is normal. Her world is falling apart. She pulls the covers over her head once more. Apologies are only words. Actions spotlight the lies. There's nothing to do except wait it out. Finally, the storm is over. The wind has died down. The sun is out. The tide washes the flotsam in and out. Some of it sticks to the sand. Mostly it just ebbs and flows, waiting to be scavenged. She opens her eyes again to assess the damage. She releases them both. She begins to pick up the pieces of her life, one by one. She has survived. She's not unharmed, but she's healing. Time will be taken. She will move on, more cautious than before. But she will move on.
Well, this is so much fun. Thank you for the invite. And I have 2 poems about resilience. I'm not sure which one might get chosen, but both of them are short. So I'll do this one first. It's called Life is Popular. Even in hardship, life is still very popular. Immobilized under crumbled towers, smothered in the ashes of disappointment. How to find resilience in heartbreaking loss. Death and rebirth are cleverly stitched together. Where is the secret of the phoenix? The initiative to create something new, to take the first step and have the path appear, to know and follow what feeds the soul, to own my own story of transcendence. I know there's a manifestation vortex around here somewhere, really close. If I can just wander sufficiently until I find, oh, there, just on the other side of the required flying leap. The impossible is suddenly possible. Let me back up and get a running start. I can't wait to find out who I am on the other side. Goodbye, empty husk of yesterday. I am on the wind and on the wing, flying to the new horizon. And the last one is, thank you. Oh, look at that. Thank you. And this one is called Truth Doesn't Need Permission. In the deepest sleep, I have dreamt of the light. Long ago, my soul agreed to forget. And so I planted the quiet seeds, deep in darkness, guarded by spirit, and fell into a dense and foggy dream. An illusory realm where I forgot who I was. This world did not want my light, shamed me into hiding it. Fearfully, foolishly, I betrayed myself, falling deeper into the abyss of illusion. But now, the seeds are rising like a rebellion, not against the world, but against the forgetting. My moments of remembrance are rising, like the seeds one by one, out of the darkness into the sun. The truth I have longed for has found me. I remember so clearly now that I belong to the divine. An angel has kissed my forehead. My third eye is slowly awakening and whispers only my soul hears. And rising beneath the matrix, the illusion crumbles with every whisper, with every ripple through the ether. It is time. I realize now I was never alone. We are millions, star seeds, memory keepers, all longing for the song we haven't heard yet. Walking out of the darkness with a light too bright for words, I hear the music of the spheres, calling me onward into the dawn of a new day. With the good news, the truth doesn't need permission to rise. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't think I've heard you read before. This was a treat.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I am. I chose to weave a tapestry of moments from my memoir, Daddy's House, to present the spine of my strength in my definition of resilience. There are moments in a woman's life when resilience is not a choice, not a virtue, not a pretty word on a poster. There are moments when resilience is the only thing standing between you and the end of yourself. I learned resilience not in theory, but in the places where I should have broken but didn't. Resilience is when your belly is swelling with life, but every part of your life is unraveling. I remember the day I realized I was pregnant, a day when I'm sorry, did someone?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I remember the day I realized I was pregnant, a day that should have been filled with joy. Yet I felt the weight of a world I had never expected resting on my womb. I carried a child with no guarantee that I could carry myself. I stood in my tiny one-room apartment in Dayton, Ohio, a girl who had outrun the cotton fields of Wetumpka, Alabama, but could not outrun the consequences of her choices. There I was, a young woman, fired from her job when her boss learned she was pregnant, walking the floors at night, hand on my belly, whispering into the darkness, "Baby, this is not the life I planned for myself right now, but somehow, my child, I promise you this, we're gonna make it." And by God, we did. Because resilience is the sound a mother makes when she refuses to let her child feel the fear she feels. But the deepest resilience I ever knew came on a night when evil stepped out of the shadows and took what did not belong to it. I was 19, standing at a bus stop in Columbus, Ohio, when a car pulled up with a lie on its tongue and a nightmare behind its doors. A familiar man who kidnapped me, trafficked me, dragged me into a hotel room where 15 men, 15 grown men, decided that my body was theirs to destroy. When I tell you I died that night, I mean the world as I knew it burned to ash. The girl who stood at that bus stop never came home. But here is the miracle. Something in me refused to stay buried. Something in me whispered through the blood, through the terror, through the tearing of flesh and spirit, "You will not end me." Even when I walked out of that room, legs trembling, soul cracked open, I carried a truth that even they could not steal. I was still alive. And as long as I had breath, I would rise from what they tried to kill. Resilience is not the absence of trauma. Resilience is surviving the unspeakable and refusing to bow to silence. Years later, confronted by racism in the workplace, I found the courage to seek justice. I walked into a courtroom carrying not just my story, but the weight of those unable to fight for themselves, especially every woman who had ever been hurt and told to get over it. I stood face to face with a system built to swallow women whole, the depositions, the retaliation, the humiliation, the way the truth gets twisted until you barely recognize it. But I refused to be intimidated. I refused to shrink. I refused to be that terrified girl in a hotel room ever again. I looked lawyers in the eye. I told the truth with a spine made of steel and scripture. And when they pushed, I pushed back harder. Because resilience is what rises in you when justice becomes more important than approval, when your future becomes more important than your fear, when your voice becomes more powerful than your pain. So when people ask me how I survived, how I carried a child alone, how I lived through a night designed to destroy me, how I fought a system meant to silence me, I tell them this: resilience is not who I became after the storm. Resilience is the person who walked out of the storm still holding her head high. And if my life has taught me anything, it is this: you can break a woman's heart, you can break her body, you can break her circumstances, but you cannot break her spirit. if she decides to rise anyway. And I did. I rose. I am here. Just as the brilliant sunrise illuminates the east 365 days a year, this woman will rise like a phoenix, vibrant, fiery, and forever resilient. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was awesome, Mildred.
Wait. Laura Pena.
Okay, I have to follow Mildred. All right. Hello, everyone. Okay, so this is a poem I wrote after attending a workshop by Kate Weiss Orcutt. And this is called, this is Self-Portrait at 27. It's all glows and bliss and feeling the kicks in the first months. Congratulations, you're having a boy, the ultrasound technician says. It's all happiness. It's all a worry. Are we ready to be parents? You think you are. Now we have to pick out the baby's name. It's all back to normal day to day after that visit. It's all craving red meat all of a sudden when you were sure you were vegan. Driving to your TV station job, trying to get the nursery ready, fretting over money. He spends it as soon as it hits the joint bank account. It's all silly stuff like black and white geometric design artwork or art supplies or magazines. Nothing for the baby, nothing practical. It's all right, Laura. Scott is an artist. He knows best. He says it's for the baby, so he will appreciate art, grow up to be a free thinker, a nonconformist, etc., etc. It's not all right. Not at all. It's walking through the TV station halls to your office in a body that has suddenly, over the last 3 weeks, swelled like water balloons. It's the sensation of feeling them slosh around inside you all day. It's all you can do to keep from shouting at the receptionist that you need to see your doctor now, today, not next week. It's the diagnosis of pregnancy-induced hypertension. You're only at 29 weeks, but your body won't let you carry your baby to term. It's all feelings of betrayal, failure, blaming yourself because at New Year's Eve you drank so much you lost the next day and the day after that and didn't realize you were pregnant. It's all those voices in your head, not your own, letting you believe it was all your fault. Your baby was born premature. It's shaking uncontrollably while trying to sleep, unaware your body is actually shutting down. Kidneys in danger of failing. Blood pressure so high the nurse made an audible gasp she didn't think you heard. It's the doctor telling you and your husband the baby has to come out or we're going to lose her. Take the Fannin exit off of 610 South. Women's Hospital of Texas was my home for the next 2 months, where my preemie baby spent his early life in the NICU. And me by his side every night, holding his tiny body against my chest, speaking softly to him through the tubes amidst the whirring of the machines, feeling his tiny heart beat as I rocked him to sleep. Thank you.
You're a little bit difficult to follow as well. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
It's a privilege to have this opportunity to share this poem. It's one of the ones I submitted for the Resilience Anthology. I hope it gets picked. And it's titled Finding Me. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe I need to get it down here. It was a poem I wrote to express my journey as a as a wife at a point, and then as a mother, and just how I got lost in all that. So, huge dreams, lofty ideas, I had them all. A young girl back home in my village, tucked in the heart of Africa, standing tall on my soapbox, declaring for all to hear, I will uphold the law. I will set women free. Then I laid that dream upon the altar of marriage, sacrificing my voice to duty, becoming a wife, a mother, forgetting how I once fought, how I argued the wrongs of the world with a fire that refused to dim. I mortgaged my hopes, I delayed my desires, gratifying others, filling my hands with bruises and tantrums while waiting for the right time to exhale. But they took it all. They took and took until I could hold my breath no more. Frustration stretched across years of stagnation until my dream clawed its way free, busting through its seams, shattering the mold society placed upon me. Once bridled, once stifled, now untamed. I'm no longer ashamed of marriages that didn't last. I'm no longer guilty for chasing my dreams. I'm no longer offering explanations for the life that I chose. I have found myself again, unapologetic, unbound, living my dream at last. Thank you, guys.
Oh, that was awesome. Awesome.
Right. You, Abby. So, Margo, you had something?
Yes. Yeah, I thought I'd put my name on the list, but I think it was just the haunted holidays. May I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
I can barely hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Share.
Okay. Okay, let me see if I can make this work. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I promise this is the last time you have to hear about my kidneys. All right, this was from the Synchronicity recovery issue, the spring of 2025. My kidney story began at Party City, a glorious place to start the witching season. As I entered the store on that hot August day, I saw a ghoulish creature hanging near the front door. I couldn't look away from her beautiful ugliness. I imagined she had survived a plague during the Dark Ages. I had to buy her to hang out with our other Halloween ghosts and goblins. My shopping joy lasted almost the whole day until waves of nausea gripped me on the drive home. For 7 days, I lived in a world of fever, queasiness, and exhaustion. During this war with my kidneys, sleep was a continuation of previous dreams. In my fever dream world, I was a supervisor at a construction site with lots of stones, traveling down a vertical spreadsheet of tasks. These tasks were things my body had to accomplish to heal itself. I didn't know what these tasks were, but I felt confident that someone in my dream was on top of the operation. Was it the monster? Weeks later, the monster appeared again as I got my kidney stone smashed with lasers and lithotripsy. Now I wonder, is the monster really a monster? Perhaps she is an unconventional guardian angel. Maybe I should be more conscious of items that seize my attention in the real world. Maybe I should respect the ugliness that enters my life. Thank you.
Awesome.
Stop share. Okay, there we go.
Thanks, Margo. Thank you, Margo. And that's the end of the list that I have.
I think
If
Gladys
it-
said.
Pardon?
I'd like to see if I could read a short one, if it's allowed. I don't want to.
Well,
Why not?
it works
Go
for me.
ahead.
Gladys, May, give me one
Yeah,
minute.
it's okay. It won't be long. Short and to the point of reason. Oh wow. Here I am. I'm weary. After my travels to 4 destinations this summer to the various African countries, and having the opportunity to go to a place called Zanzibar, which is a part of Tanzania, Africa. And I had the opportunity to really witness and take pictures of the slave chambers, where the slaves from that area, not the western part. We always think about Ghana, but the island of Zanzibar. I did the same thing, and so I came back. I have not witnessed such a horror. You see it on TV, but when you say that these are bodies that were chained before they were shipped up. In fact, I was on Prison Island in Zanzibar, and the Prison Island was a little island that was away from the island, so that those slaves who rebelled were sent away, and they couldn't go to freedom. They couldn't be free. It's entitled Weeds. Weeds. Nobody thinks, we think about weeds as something we got to kill and destroy. But weeds will grow whether you want them to or not. They grow everywhere. You can't get rid of a weed. Thriving where we are not wanted, uprooted and spread across many lands. Yet we grow wild in the fields of yellow, pink, or white. Weeds, rooted in the grounds of strength, warmth, and comfort, our stems of life. The flow of the Atlantic has changed, but because of our rising light, which keeps us, the weeds, thriving in the fields of the yellow, pink, or white. Our roots, planted by his protection and planted by his love, never, never to be eradicated. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Always. So, Susan, I guess it's back to you.
I saw Brooke here.
Is
she here?
She is.
I am. I'm off camera, but I'm here.
Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to say tonight, Brooke?
I didn't. I think this is the time where we allow for member announcements, correct?
That is
Yeah.
true. That is correct. Yes.
Yeah. So we could watch each other coming off mute to know who's gonna go next. That's probably the fastest way to know who wants to speak. And yeah, briefly share any celebrations or announcements. And the first digital hand I see is the tech savvy Margo. So Margo, you go first, and then we'll watch after that.
I just wanted to make people aware that Kathy Crawford is the featured poet at the first Saturday poetry reading in Friendswood Library, 6 o'clock on December 6th. It's a lot of fun, so you can go down there and maybe have lunch afterwards, or you can also participate via Zoom. and they have an open mic afterwards, and it's just it's a lovely day, and I'm really excited that Kathy's going to be the featured poet.
I'm going to chime in here and just say that is so WiVLA of you, Margo, to promote someone else reading. I see Denise's hand next.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody about our WiVLA holiday party. It's coming up pretty fast. So Sunday, December 7th from 2 to 5 p.m. we'll be at Silver Street Studios outside of Melody's Studio 320. So if you haven't had a chance yet to jump over to the WiVLA calendar and sign up for goodies, I don't know if there's any room for wine and other things to be brought, but we're going to have a lot of great food and stuff to drink and hang out and enjoy each other's company. So please come join us.
I think there's always room for wine and beverages.
And there's
Or
no cap on that. Thanks, Denise. And then Jean is next.
Hey, am I next now?
You are on, Jean.
Oh, okay. So the mosaic that we've been working on, the WiVLA mosaic, is starting to be mounted on the wall. It's one of these things that has to be completed on the wall. So we've got it about halfway up at this point. And if you stop by Smither Park, you can see it. And it's looking really good. And I don't have any I didn't take any photos today. We were working down there today. So Sally Worthington and Ann Mabry and Deb Horwitz and I are the ones who've been working on it. We've been working on this for over a year now. So it's a big deal that it's finally going up. Thank you.
And we're hoping to have a member meeting where you guys get to show it off. So stay tuned.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Jean. Next up is Melody.
I have a piece at the VAA show that's over at Sabine Street right now. I'm not the only WiVLA member that has work in that show. And I took first, second, and third at the Houston Art Society show this past weekend. Yeah, it's a good weekend.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. And next is Jamie.
I have a piece that's in the Still Resisting show in New Mexico's Albuquerque's Old Walls Gallery. And actually also next month, the very first thing I wood carved, which is an Advent wreath for myself, is going to be in the Creechy, I'm probably not saying that right, festival, where they're celebrating like the hearth and all things Holy Family. So at a Lutheran church.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks. And Denise, your hand is still raised. Is there something else you want, or is that, do I skip that one? Okay, awesome. It went down. Abby, you're up.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to share that my poem Sepia Palms was selected as part of the anthology for the literary magazine called the Vina Press. The issue 14 will be published on the 20th of this month. And I just wanted to share that. Thank you, guys.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, Deborah.
I also have a piece at the VAA show.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. All right, I don't see any more digital hands. We have any old school want to jump in?
Old school.
Yes, will you raise your hand?
Yeah, like a real hand or an unmute.
Real hand.
I saw Melody's hand up.
No, I was demonstrating.
Oh, okay.
Old-fashioned way of doing it. The old-fashioned way.
Oh.
Your demo worked.
It did.
Okay. Keeps popping up. Okay. Guess that's it.
All right. This was a great meeting. And right as I was about to say that, I saw Jean posted the chat. Good meeting. I loved all the readings, and I second that. Yeah, this was really good.
Always is.
Yeah, so
Right.
if nobody has any more announcements, then we'll adjourn. But thanks for everybody who shared and everybody that celebrated. This was great. And hopefully we'll see you at the holiday party.
Yes.
Check the calendar.